How's it going? Jemi's World is here. Yes, we are here and back with another video. I am going to get you guys a review. The first book I have completed in the start of Black Excellence Month. Yes, we have none other than The Reformatory by Tanana Reeve. I have finally completed this book. It took me legit 7 days to complete this. And when I tell you, I feel like I had a stronghold on this book to where I didn't want to depart from it. Like, I annotated the life out of it, and you guys will be getting my review right here. So make sure you stay locked in by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, and hit that bell for all notifications. And let's get into it. The Reformatory is about a young boy. His name is Robert Steffens Jr., and he has a sister named Gloria Steffens. Their father is pretty much an outlaw in their town called Gracetown in Florida. Something happened to where he had to flee to Chicago, and now Gloria is taking care of her brother at their home and with their relative. Her name is Miss Lottie. An incident occurred near their home. Gloria is speaking to this guy. His last name is McCartney, and one thing about the McCartneys, they own half of Gracetown. This is a white man and his son. They're speaking to each other, and he ends up pushing up on Gloria. So that's when Robbie jumps in and is like, get off of my sister. And this is in 1950, okay? So when you think about this time frame, you have to remember back then, Black people and white people could not commingle. Everything was separated. And on top of that, the biggest thing that was a problem is, as a Black person, you cannot wink at a white woman. You will literally die. The McCartney, his name is Lyle, he ends up like pushing up on Gloria, and Gloria's just like, yo, like, what are you doing? Robbie, he is a young boy. He's 12 years old. He ends up kicking him in the knee. And that's when Lyle McCartney's like, oh man, like trying to make a big scene so his father can see it. He sees it. Robbie gets arrested for kicking him and ends up in court with the judge. And the judge is on the McCartney side because, of course, they own majority of this town. So they have alliances and they have this whole thing to where whatever they want the judge to do, they're going to do it. And on top of that, this is a very prejudiced, racist time in history. Robbie Jr. gets sentenced to 6 months to a reformatory school. And this book is just breaking down the timeline of him in the reformatory school and trying to survive, as well as Gloria's POV, trying to get him out of this reformatory school and get them far away from this town as possible. When I tell you this book had me in so many different emotions, just off like 20 pages in, I was triggered and upset just by the wording and how they spoke to my community and how they just embraced them in a very like hateful way. And these are kids, right? So you have to think about it. These are children who don't really know. They're just here. I had to remember this was in 1950 because I was like, okay, this is very like aggressive, and it showed me and reminded me that this time period was not that long ago. As the story progressed, it brought out different tones. It showed how Gloria was resilient, how she was not stopping or she was not breaking until she figured out a way to get her brother out of there. She literally did things that were so brave and just like incredible to figure out why, how, and we are not taking no for an answer. We're going to figure something out. There was scenes in this book that had me nervous, had me anxious, had me mind blown to where it was like, wow, like the inside of this facility was so traumatizing for these young boys. And it wasn't just young Black kids, it was white kids as well who got sentenced to the reformatory. And it was triggering overall to where it looked like, okay, there's 10 and 12-year-olds in this school. slash prison. And they have them under conditions of working outside in the hot sun, as well as like just doing labor that they shouldn't be doing. Tananarive, she wrote this so poetically incredible to where I am completely mind blown, and I did research as soon as I was finished reading the book. The writing was so fluid and straightforward. It had teaching elements as far as talking about Thurgood Marshall and NAACP lawyers, as well as other things that are happening in society today with institutions for children, and just seeing how the dynamic of a family not being there anymore for kids and how it can affect their mental health. There was so many elements I didn't expect for her to unpack, but she unpacked it in such a massively profound way to where I am stunned. I am so glad she wrote this. I am absolutely mind blown to, like, I still can't even grasp the entire thing. At the end of the book, she explains how these characters are fiction, where she got them from, where the inspiration came from, and it really had me thinking about institutions and children, and how is this the right thing to do to discipline them to be a better person. I will definitely be continuing to read Tananarive's novels. She has a bunch of them out there, and I definitely want each and every one of you guys to read this book. It is very amazing. It had some horror elements as well. It had a lot of religious elements as well. The horror wasn't too scary. Like, honestly, it was pretty interesting, and it had like it had a take to where it's like, oh, okay, this is something that's like, you're a kid, you don't know. But the element of the horror that initially, when I first got introduced to this book, they were saying it's a horror novel, but then they put it into historical fiction. I feel like historical fiction is definitely the spot it should be in, because of all the knowledge that was packed into here, as well as all these corrupt things that were happening and all these other elements that were happening just for survival purposes for these kids, for people in this town, and just everything. Like, it really showed how society like has progressed, but still is showing highlights of what is still happening from back then to now. Truly grateful to start the month off with this book. Make sure you guys go check out Tananarive's discography, this book, and yeah, I'm still like in shock because it was so many different emotions. Like, I can't even explain it. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. Make sure you guys, again, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you have read The Reformatory by Tananarive, how you feel about it. Also, what other books you would recommend to me from her discography. And I'll see you guys in the next video.